Here is a view of what we have already studied. We have looked at how education can help end poverty, and we talked a lot about Japan and also saw the situation in the US. Today, we are going to look at the other side of education, which is education for better human beings, and we're going to see this through the impact of reading. There is here an interesting connection because you could end poverty by becoming a better human beings. And today we're going to talk about ending poverty in the US through reading. When you cannot read and write, so this means that you are illiterate, you earn 30 to 42% less than people who can read and write. So these people are literate. For instance, think about your part-time job. Let's say that if you can read, at your part-time job, you get every month 100,000 yen. Well, if you cannot read and or write, then in that case you will get between 58,000 yen to 70,000 yen. I hope you can see from this how important it is to know how to read and write so that you are not poor. In addition, when you cannot read and write, so again that means you are illiterate, there is little hope of you being able to make more money. Why? Well, you just do not have the literacy skills to get a better education or training to improve income. You just cannot get the right training because you cannot read or write to be able to improve your income. So it's a vicious circle, right? There is a very interesting movie called In Her Shoes that will probably help you understand this situation better. Maggie is one of the main characters. Her sister Rose is the other one. Maggie hasn't got a job, so her sister Rose found job offers in the newspaper for her. But Maggie decides to go to New York for an MTV audition. Please watch what happens at the MTV audition. As you may have understood from the movie clip, Maggie has a remedial level of reading. This means that she cannot read fluently, and because of that, she cannot get the job with MTV, and in the past, she has had the same problem. And also keeping a job has been a difficult task for her. Next, I would like to introduce a scene where Maggie finds a way to overcome her issue. Basically, Maggie has had a fight with her sister Rose, and she's left for Florida to meet her grandmother. In Florida, she finds a job at an assisted living center, which means that she is taking care of older people, and at the assisted living center, she meets a retired professor. So please watch what I call the reading practice scene. So what's the solution to reading problems? Well, for me, the scene clearly shows that you need to have a caring teacher, so a teacher who cares about the person he or she is teaching, and actually it doesn't need to be a real teacher. Anyone could help someone else read. So a caring teacher who takes the time. Reading doesn't happen in an instant. It requires quite a bit of patience as well. But more specifically, I think also that it's the professor's high expectations that make a difference to Maggie, because he pushes her to be clear, to explain her opinion in a detailed way. And sometimes we just need to realize that we can do it. We've been so good at convincing ourselves that we can't, that we don't even believe in ourselves anymore. So the first conclusion is that knowing how to read, and I will add count, in this case we haven't seen anything related to that, but there's another scene in the movie where Maggie is having a hard time counting as well. So knowing how to read and count means that you will get a job and your financial situation will get better. And for the second part of the video, I'd like to emphasize that I strongly believe that your personal life will also get better. Do you remember when the professor tells Maggie, A+, smart girl? This is the smile she has on her face. So I'd like to explore this a little bit more with you in the second part of the video. In the first video, we came to the conclusion that knowing how to read and count means that you may have a better financial life. We added that also knowing how to read leads to a better personal life. I would like to use what Donalyn Muller wrote in a preface to a book about reading. She's here next to Mathew. This is what Donalyn Muller wrote about her task, her job as a teacher. Our sole charge, many educators claim, is to ensure that our students possess the literacy skills needed to succeed in the workforce. So our sole charge means our only responsibility. So the responsibility of educators is to give students the skills to be good at their job. She goes on to say, it's vital that students graduate from high school with the reading skills they need for college and career success, but I want more for them. So Donalyn Muller agrees that she has to give the right reading skills to her students, but she wants more for them. And Mathew and I are in the same situation. Let me explain. Donalyn Muller says, I hope our students find relevance in their lives, forge deep connections with others, create art, appreciate the world's mysteries, and possess spiritual and emotional stores that sustain them in dark times. So clearly, yes, Donalyn Muller wants more for her students. And I have underlined 2 of her goals that I will explain in more details. But let's go over the ones that I haven't underlined. So create art. Yes, reading helps people be creative. I've experienced it, I've seen it, and I really strongly encourage you to think about it this way when you're reading. Appreciate the world mysteries. I've always been absolutely fascinated by what I learned about the world while reading. And especially this, the spiritual and emotional stores. So the spiritual and emotional abilities, so that when you have dark time, difficult times, you can find ways to feel better. So let's finish the quote. Reading shows how to be better human beings, not just successful worker bees. And I truly agree with her, and I'd like to share a personal experience to explain this. I would like to focus on the 2 goals that Donalyn Muller has decided for herself regarding teaching reading. The 2 goals are find relevance in their lives and forge deep connections with others. So find relevance in their lives means that she hopes her student will see how important what they're reading is for their own life, in their daily life. And forge deep connections with others mean that they make deep connections, that it's not just a hello, goodbye type of relationship. And I would like to share my own example to show how reading has helped me achieve these 2 goals by helping me truly, and this is in bold, truly understand the importance of having a safe place to live, in other words, a house. It is actually quite strange that reading would give me this understanding, because I have two important personal experiences that should have taught me this. Let me explain. Between August and October 2010, I volunteered in India. I had very little money and I had to be very careful with that money. So it was very hard to find a decent, a rather good place to live. So you would think that having experienced this for myself would help me understand the importance of having a safe, decent place to live in. But somehow it didn't happen that way. Maybe it didn't happen that way because the place I found in India was actually pretty nice, very simple, very small, but clean, and I had hot running water. The second experience happened shortly after. It was February 2011, and this is something I did with Mathew. We both volunteered in Cambodia with Habitat for Humanity, and we built a house, built a house for a family who was living under a house. Let me show you what it looked like. This is the house. As you may guess, it would be impossible to actually stand. Only the children, here you can see in the back, can stand up. We had to basically crawl. So we built a house, this house right here, and I would have thought that this great achievement, which was really something quite difficult to do, would have made me feel the power of giving a safe place to live. I mean, look at the next picture and see how happy the family is. So the family is right here, the mother and the father, and here you have 3 of the 4 children. So happy people, we were happy too, clearly, that's where we are. But still, somehow, the impact of giving someone a safe place to live was not fully in my mind and in my heart. It's only when I read Bright Shiny Morning by James Frey that I felt the power of having a safe place to live in my mind and especially in my heart. What's quite funny about this is that I didn't even like the book that much. I much liked his other 2 books, A Million Little Pieces and My Friend Leonard. So let me read to you the passage that truly helped me understand the importance of having a safe place to live. I have to say before I start that James Frey uses bad words, so I have removed them. And also he doesn't use a lot of punctuation, so I will try to read it as best as I can to render the rhythm and the meaning of the story. And one more thing before I start, we have here 2 main characters, a she and a he. They are both homeless. He is a bit older than she and he's trying to take care of her. She steps around him, closes the door. He steps away from the door, looks at the eating area, that's part of the taco stand, hopes none of the tourists have to use the bathroom. If they do, he'll have to get the girl out. If she resists, it might anger the owner. If the owner gets angry, there's a chance he'll lose the bathroom, and he doesn't want to have to find a new place to sleep, and he definitely doesn't want to have to find a new place to take a. He can hear the sink running, can hear the girl swearing. He hears the sink stop running. He doesn't hear anything. He waits for a minute, 2 maybe. She's drying herself off. He waits another minute, 2. He knocks on the door. No response. He knocks again. Waits. No response. He knocks again. Nothing. He takes out his key, opens the door. She's sitting on the floor, her knees at her chest. She looks up at him. He speaks. "You okay?" She nods. "Why are you sitting on the floor?" "Just Sam." "No reason?" "There's a reason." "What is it?" "'Cause it feels good." "The bathroom floor?" "I ain't sleep inside for almost a year. I ain't been in a bathroom where I had any privacy for longer than that. I ain't been in a place where I could lock the door and feel safe for even a second since I was a little kid. That door's got a lock, and I knew you wouldn't open it right away. So I got to sit here for a couple minutes and know I was safe. That no one could with me, and that no one could hurt me. It don't matter if it's a bathroom floor. It could be a bathroom floor covered with nails. It felt good." I read to you the whole passage to give you the context, but really it is especially this last part that touched me so deeply. I even think that it's when she says, "I ain't been in a place where I could lock the door and feel safe for even a second since I was a little kid." This, I think, is what hit me. This is what helped me truly understand the importance of having a safe place to live in. Maybe you won't be surprised then that my second conclusion is find the joy of reading. I truly believe that there is joy in reading, in not just being better for work, but especially being a better person. And if you find the joy of reading, please share that joy with others, especially the younger people. Here are the references for today. Thank you very much. Please keep on doing your own reflection and the research on the worksheet.